Good morning, guys. Okay. Get this in here done. I wanted to cook up one of those. I need to cook up a set of those wheels. I think it's time to undo this one. I've been seeing the blue sparklies and everything I look at now this morning. I've color sanded it, but it's not quite ready to buff. It's got to dry more. It's got to dry more before I can buff it. But the second I can, I'm going to buff it back to a nice shine. And then hopefully then you'll be able to see the blue sparklies in it. This one here color sanded too. I suppose I could have did a little bit more along this edge right here. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably do more on that too, because I want them, yeah, that's I do. I want them a little flatter. I want them a little smoother than that. And I found that charger yesterday when I was looking for all the chassis for all these. There we go. I'll turn the back of this on the lathe to get rid of all that, and it'll put the hole right in the very center, the 1/8 inch hole, and it'll come right out the very middle. So I got one done. For this, the charger, I painted yesterday, and I had those junk decals that I got on a model, but the guy, he said that they got wet in his basement about 40 years ago, and they got wet in his basement, and he thought, well, they're junk, and by all intents and purposes, they were garbage. So I'm waiting to be able to clear this, but I never clear anything just by itself, so I got to find something else to clear. And those decals were junk. They were wet, laid in wet in a flooded basement, and then they turned moldy, and they were completely junk. But I wanted to revive them for this car because I think this one here is going to be absolutely a masterpiece as far as an artistically. So I want to show you each step of the way. I have a feeling this one here is going to turn out really very sharp. Tammy loves it. She didn't want me to go with that regular hot pink, so I said, how about that mauve pearl that I've got? And she said, yeah, that. So that's what I went with instead. So I mixed it up and I sprayed it carefully. That was the last thing I sprayed. Each thing in order was this light blue, which is candy oriental blue. Then I did the candy cobalt blue up here to this line, and then I masked off for this one down here, masked that off on each side, then sprayed it with the candy cobalt blue that was in the airbrush. Then I had to carefully mask this off and then spray the top of each side. That was next. Then I mixed up this here, which was Createx, which I learning to hate that stuff, by the way. This House of Color is fantastic. It's just a lot more expensive, like $200-300 a gallon or a quart or whatever. It's way too high. But at least it doesn't self-destruct like this, like Createx. If I go to put decals on this, like I did that body over there, it completely shuts down and ruins the paint. But yeah, I'm real excited about this one. Once it's cleared, it should bring all the colors back. Yeah, Tammy says it's shiny now. What? She says it's so shiny now in this blue, the cobalt. She goes, why would you clear coat that? Well, I'll answer her question when I can show it to her when it's all cleared and color sanded and buffed and it's all done up really nice. I guess I'll put this aside for now. It's time to get another batch of this going. Gotta get a different cup. Cup. Anyone can tell me where I got that from, which was cap. Oh, glued itself down. Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. I wouldn't be me if it didn't glue itself down. Cap. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. So I gotta go to that line. Make sure it's A. Don't want these mixing prematurely because there's only seconds to work with this stuff. And I'm down to the bare minimum of it left. I'm hoping to get one more wheel for that Color Me Gone. Just about, almost. Yeah, I figured if you wanted to stop by and hang out with Ratt today, stop by and hang out with Ratt and see what old Ratt is up to. I'll put this aside because I only. Okay, and that is to that line. So what I'll do is I'll dump it in there. I want to get every bit of it that I can out of there. I don't bother with any rubber gloves or on anything. I've got some over there. I don't know if they'll fit my gigantor hands. I had a job. I was cleaning the hospital for discharge patient rooms, and I had to wear rubber gloves, which you just sure want to because of hepatitis and all the fun stuff. C. diff was going on at the time too. I don't know how it is now. But that was 2017. And I did C-section rooms, which was bloodbath. It was blood all over the ceilings, and oh my goodness. And I never did real good with the sight of blood. I passed out of the sight of blood many times when I was a kid. So I don't know how I got into that other than I applied for one of the janitor job overnight. That fit the bill. Okay, this one's got to go fast. One. Try to keep you in the frame. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I haven't got time to do anything more. Nothing more. Nothing. Don't want too many bubbles in it. Gotta mix it quick, but not so fast that it turns it into foam. We don't want that, guys. Last one I got a little bit foamy. Mix it as fast as I can. Don't pour it from this other part because it looks to me like I got some on the rim. Okay. Pour it in there. And I think as long as you agitate it like cement, if you keep agitating it, it don't harden. I don't guess. Where the second you stop and then it knows it's inside the mold. Then it knows it's inside the mold. And then is when it starts to kick off. Now I got gooey. Put this stuff away. There is a little bit left in both of these bottles. I could make probably one more wheel. Maybe. Yeah, I might be able to make one more set of these wheels. One more pair. Keep squeezing another pair. That's what I keep saying each time. Maybe one more pair. Okay. This is over there. A can go back over there. B is gonna be all wiped out, I think. I'll leave it for now. I'll let it kick off in there and then just peel it all out together. Let's see, there it goes. It's presto-y magical. I mean, this stuff is just that fast. Let's say once you pour it into the mold, then it's 7 minutes before you can pull it out. That kicks off really fast. That's about the fastest stuff I've seen. Yeah, and that was all foamy. A lot of bubbles in it. But that'll be cool. That'll be really neat to be able to make that color me gone. Get the stuff that I ran across yesterday for. Push this out of the way. Push in the bush. Push in the bush. Oh, there's decals I was looking for. I'm like, where did that plastic bag go with those decals on it that I need for that car? Well, now I know. Putting them out of the way. What I did is I hid them on myself. I'm missing the windows. Somewhere I've got the windows for that. But it came with this bag of parts, which would be the tins. I'll get them glued together. And I'll put it there. And put that cat right there. Boy, is that going to be neat. And then I did a rat rod about 10 years ago using I don't even think it was polar lights. But I'm going to have to sand it real nice. Clean it all up. Clean the glue. And sand it all real nice. Make it as nice as I can get it. And then get it glued together. I got that engine I've been working on with the Bondo schlock. Put that motor scooter in there. And I even had some those Zoomy pipes that the 4 of them together that went up, which would be great. And I gotta find them. They were floating around here, and what happens is this is a cat box room, so the cats have access to this. There's only 3 of them. One of them has 3 legs, and he's really old. He doesn't get around much at all now. But the other 2, she's 3 years old. 4. She's 4 now. So she likes to play and gallop around with the little guy. But put that one right back there. But they like to jump up here and slam. Everything goes flying. I've even found model parts. I'll take a model part and then bury it in the cat box. So when I'm cleaning the cat box out and scooping it, I find all sorts of stuff. But it's always model parts. And yeah, they don't bother me. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. That's a pen. That's a sure hit songwriter's pen. Here we go. But yeah, I want to get these pretty much as clean as I can. With the rat rod, it was fine. It was fine in that it was scaly in some parts, but I want to make this really nice. I'm running across different parts to where I ran into the decals, which I knew were ruined completely, so I had to bring them back up and around and get them to stick to the body long enough to be able to get it cleared. But yeah, they've stuck really good. I can't, I was working on it. It's like, well, yeah, you can't even move the decals. But I got the decals on there and get that cleared today. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be cool. So I told Tammy, I says, if I go through and super detail this, get everything really, really detailed out, little springs on the throttle, cable, really do it up nice. I didn't see when. Yeah, it's really hot. I didn't see when I poured that. And I always look at the clock. So it's 5:35 now. Yeah, I was all excited. I love funny cars, and I haven't had one around in a long time. That's why even buying that body, that Charger body, was kind of out of the norm for me. I looked up Charger body, and I don't know why I would even look for that. And found one for slot cars. It's not for, it wasn't a full model or anything. So I got it really cheap. I'm thinking $12, $13, somewhere right in there. And I put it aside. It was in one of my boxes. And I thought, well, I don't have anything else for it. So I'm just going to put it aside. And then yesterday, going and trying to find all the Badman stuff for my 57s and 55s, I needed to find all those chassis. So I ran across this stuff, and I thought, wow, I got enough stuff. I can probably make that. And I did. I found every single piece I need, and then the engine I've been working on for the last few days. I did the heads higher. This is already another set of heads. And I super glued these to the top of that. And then filled on all this stuff here. I'm going to sand it better and sculpt it. sculpt it better than repaint it silver. And this really isn't the right transmission for that. But then again, it was what, a 1970? I think it was 70 Charger. And this, I'm not real sure if this is backwards. I'll have to see if it even fits. Have to see if it even fits inside that body once I get the tins on it. I'll show it to you guys. It's really dusty. Yeah, really dusty. I need to clean it all up because I want to make this that candy oriental blue. I want the whole frame and everything candy oriental blue, or even candy cobalt blue would be nice. But the candy oriental blue, which is this color right here, I've got that in a can, so it's easy to just spray it and be done with it, and then clear it. That might be the thing to do, is get this chassis up to speed, get it glued together, which I don't remember even how this went, because on the Ratt rod, I had this glued to the floor pan of the car. Then I had these extending out from the firewall. I'm not even real sure how this even went. In the pictures I found of the Color Me Gone was just the body. And I see that my decals really aren't exactly like that car was. But then again, this body's about a foot longer than that original body was anyway, because this is a Polar Lights. And I think the original Color Me Gone, I had two of them. I think they were made by Revell. And yeah, they were like the stock. They weren't extended in here. They weren't anything. They had the full wheel well, and then the smaller wheel wells back here, I believe, on the real one. So I'm able to take a couple different artistic liberties and change my pink that I did. I shot that. I mixed this together and came up with this mauve for my dad's Cadillac. There was something wrong with the hood. I can't even remember. It was right before I lost the house in foreclosure. I was about a week away from having to be out of there. And Dad brought me his Cadillac and wanted me to repaint the hood and fenders. Something happened. Maybe the paint was peeling off, but I bench mixed this here mauve, and I was able to use it yesterday on here, because once I mentioned that to Tammy, she's like, yeah, that's the color. Because once it's cleared, that should make the mauve just glow. It should be glowing almost. So this one here, I have some real potential in this to be, if I super detail the thing, yeah, that could be a show winner, no problem. Let me put him out of the way over here. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited about this guy. Get the big and beefies on there. And I even found the right front wheels. They were Halibrands. They're chrome, which would be great because I'll paint them gold. On the rear car, they were gold. And I think these back ones were like a dark charcoal. They look pretty crusty. So I can mix that paint up and shoot that. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that one. So let's take a look at how this is going. Cooking that up. I like to work it around the edge first before I try to pull its wheel out, because the wheel, see how it's all sucked in right there? It's still stuck in there. It's still stuck in the wheel, and I don't want to tear it. This outside edge is so thin because I didn't have a whole bunch of this stuff. So in fact, I'm I'm out of that completely. Mold maker. They used it to make the mold of a Hemi engine, and then it failed. It stayed all gooey inside, and I lost all my detail. Here we are. You know what I could do? I can put my molds away. I put having such a tiny little, you got 1 foot by 1 foot area to work. That's all I got. I have to continuously put things away. And in doing that, I hit them on myself. So keep these up. Keep these way up there, almost to the ceiling on that. There we go. I'm excited now. Yeah. Maybe I'll just do that there. All right. Yeah, now I got a little bit of going through, and I probably should, once I get the big chunks, I'm going to go through and use the sandpaper. Ah, boy, real bad one. I remember I had this frame painted. I had it painted like a teal at one time. But I'll have to make a lot of parts for it. Hard to tell what's tabs and what is actually chunks of things. And then I'll go through and use sandpaper on it because I want it to look pretty good. Get it to look really sharp. And keep getting her together. The hoop. And that will probably be my front axle, as funny as that is. All right, keep it there. Okay, guys, I think I'll let you go. And next time I go live, I think both of these bodies will be buffed out. Hopefully that'll be in clear, and it'd be even nice if this chassis was done and painted too. It'd be really tough. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you on the next one. Have a great Veterans Day today. Okay, guys, bye-bye.